What were the most significant challenges you faced during the show? A lot of challenges. Hi, I'm Sandy Gallagher, and I'm going to be answering some questions from the Confession Cube with page 6. If you could go back and give yourself advice before starting the ultimatum, what would you say? A lot. I would say, Sandy girl, think about this before you do it. Think before you speak. I would tell myself to be just to be strong with what I was okay with, what I wasn't okay with, because I think in the ultimatum, for instance, I definitely can try and make everybody else kind of feel comfortable around me, and I want to I didn't want to let anybody down in certain things, and I think I was, there are moments where I put myself on the back burner when I should have been putting myself first. So I would just say, yeah, really stay true to yourself. Do not let the experience or anybody kind of persuade you one way or the other. Just be very, very true to yourself. Is there something about your journey on the ultimatum that you feel was misunderstood or misrepresented? Yes, hell yes, a lot of it. I think that a lot of me was kind of like misunderstood and misrepresented on the show. I'll be honest though, I wasn't showing up as my best self during the show, so I think that's kind of where, in ways I feel a little bit misunderstood, because it's like I was in the hardest, weirdest experience ever, and I think I was taking it very seriously. So some of my other qualities didn't really show through, but I think kind of the disconnect is people might think that I'm like this shallow, it's just the most surface level version of myself, honestly. So yeah, I think what people don't really get to see that much is I actually have such a big heart, and I am a very loyal person, loyal friend. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of moments of being misunderstood on TV. So it's kind of how it goes sometimes. Was there anything about your experience that surprised you, either about yourself or about relationships in general? The whole thing was pretty surprising, I'll be honest. I didn't know what to expect with the ultimatum. I think definitely there were elements to my relationship that it was very surprising to see, just how certain things came up. I was surprised in a way at how strong I was through certain things. I don't know, being in that situation, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done, and I actually think that I surprised myself at how strong I was able to handle myself in certain situations, and just kind of before, during, and after the show. So, I'm a strong girl. What were the most significant challenges you faced during the show? A lot of challenges. The biggest challenge for me was trying to kind of manage everybody. I felt like I had to show up for JR, I had to show up for Nick, I had to show up for production, and then I kind of was putting myself last, I felt like. So I was in survival mode for 2 months, trying to make everybody happy and show up in the experience. But I think the hardest part was just being in a relationship, of course, and breaking up right away and having to live with somebody else. That was the hardest part, actually. Living with a man for 3 weeks that I just met. That was the weirdest thing ever. What aspects of your trial marriage with JR stood out to you, especially in comparison to your relationship with Nick? Me and JR had a lot of fun together. I think that we kind of matched each other with our energy sometimes, and we just made the most of, honestly, a really weird situation. Even just on the dates that we would go on, we would have a lot of fun together. And I don't know, I think with my experience with my trial marriage with JR, I was met with somebody that, felt really grounded and kind of calm energy. Just very grounded in a really, really chaotic situation. So then I guess compared to my relationship with Nick, it was quite literally the opposite. It was chaos in a chaotic situation, which obviously, just made things kind of crumble. How did Nick's journey post-show, including his decision to check into rehab, impact your perspective on your relationship? I mean, his decision to check into rehab post-show was something that I had been begging him to do since I met him. So his decision to do that post-show, I was very, very supportive of it. I called all the places for him, drove up 10 hours to check him in to rehab. I'm proud of him for doing that. So it made me like hopeful for him and his personal journey. But at that point, our relationship had ended. So I was very supportive of him as a friend, as a person that loves and cares for him. But yeah, it made me hopeful for him in terms of like his recovery. It didn't change anything about our relationship because at that point our relationship was done. I was proud of him for going into rehab and working on his recovery. I think it definitely, it showed some blind spots for him, and it kind of made him be really real with himself. So I think it was a powerful thing for him to go into rehab afterwards. And I genuinely am like really rooting for his just overall health and well-being. Like I want the best for him, and I've always been a really big support for him in that way. Like whether we're together or not, I genuinely wish him the best. Now that you've been through the ultimatum, do you think issuing an ultimatum is ever a good idea in relationships? Look, if you have to give somebody an ultimatum, they're probably not right for you. I will never convince somebody to be with me. That's just my personal opinion. Ultimatums do work. They can definitely work, and just to kind of apply some pressure that somebody might need. But in terms of love, relationships, marriage, like that to me is one thing that you should never convince somebody to be in. If it's not 100, it should just be no. That's my saying. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So what are your biggest relationship goals moving forward? Definitely to find somebody that is healthy, happy, and healed. That's my new Triple H. You know, and I want like a good partner where we can have fun together, we can be serious, deep, and it's just like a healthy relationship. We want healthy, stable moving forward. In hindsight, how do you feel about your decision to participate in the ultimatum? You know, I'm really grateful that I went through that experience. Honestly, it was really, really hard. Let's be very real. It's not an easy experience, but I am grateful for it in a way because I think it taught me things about myself that I'm just really grateful that I kind of learned that, and it taught me things about a relationship, that like what I will put up with, what I won't put up with. And overall, it was a really cool experience for sure. Definitely hard, but you know, I feel grateful for it in a way. So I think that's just kind of, for me looking back, it's like, you know, I have appreciation for it. I'm glad I didn't know that it was gonna be that hard, so, or else I probably wouldn't have done it, but happy I did it. Favorite New York Fashion Week moment so far? Okay, well this is my first New York Fashion Week, so I have had so much fun running around in the city, my dress and heels with the snow on the ground. We love the chaos, and it's been really cool and exciting to be at some of these shows of like my favorite designers and brands, and you know, getting to wear all these beautiful clothes. Like I love fashion, and so it's just been really cool and surreal to, you know, be around some of these brands and designers. And I got to go to the Kim Shui show on Friday, and I wore her stunning dress that Katy Perry also wore, just saying. So that was a really cool experience, and just seeing the runway and the models, like, oh my God, the models are beautiful. It's been really cool, and just getting to play dress up. I'm just a girl. Like, I just want to get my glam, dress up. So that's been really cool. And being here for the Super Bowl with the Eagles winning, that's been a highlight of the week so far. What are some things people would not know about you from just watching the show? One, that I am an entrepreneur. I'm a businesswoman. I am a homeowner. And I actually went to Penn State for college. So I lived on the East Coast for a couple years, and fun fact, Saquon Barkley was the running back at Penn State when I was there, and he did the same thing he's doing for the Eagles while I was at Penn State. So, and the Eagles are my team. I've been an Eagles fan my whole life. My whole family is from Philadelphia. And growing up in California, we didn't have a football team. So I'm like a die-hard Eagles fan. So it's been the coolest, like, full circle moment to see Saquon with the Eagles, and just took us to the Super Bowl, and we won the Super Bowl. That's the Confession Cube with Page 6. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Instagram, Sandy_Gal, and TikTok, Sandy Gal. Okay, love you, bye.